What's up, everybody? Jughead's Journey here. Welcome back to our Let's Watch Hunter x Hunter series. Today, we're going to be watching episode 93, Date with Palm. So I guess I know where this episode's going today. But, without any further ado, tune in, watch alongside with me during my full uncut reaction, and stay for my in-depth analysis discussion after the episode. So, Hunter x Hunter episode 93 in 3, 2, 1. Let's watch this. So we are picking up immediate East Gorteau, is it right? That's where we saw Meruem arrive at the end of last episode. Is this where he's going to want to build his new kingdom? Oh, is this going to be like the typical dictator in his palace living lavishly? And so then, is East Gorteau a dictator state? Dispose of him. Oh yeah, I'm so busy right now. Don't bother me with reports while he's watching a burlesque show. I'm basing that off of the military uniform, and just so typical. That's interesting. So we're still getting date with Palm, but we're getting action too. So, and I'm gonna be curious what East Gorteau is supposed to mirror in real life. I love how Togashi mirrors real life locations, countries, nations, cities into Hunter x Hunter. So I wonder what this will be. And they continue walking forward. Oh, he's not a Nen user? Oh, he is a Nen user. I mean, he is a Nen user. This is a rare human. This is what he's been lusting for. What he has a taste for. Oh! Ooh, you're fucked, dude. One swipe of the tail, all of them taken out. But he kept his head. Remember last episode? He learned, Pito told him, it's best if you keep the head intact. He decapitated all of them, but he kept his head intact. Oh, what a shot, the bloody teeth. Look how excited and invigorated he is. Oh! Is this another homage to Cell? I was wondering this. I was wondering this from last episode. His tail, he doesn't consume humans through his tail. It's just a physical aesthetic homage to Cell. But he consumes Nen and becomes more powerful. Consumes aura and becomes more powerful. The same way Imperfect Cell consumed Chi to reach his perfect form. Meow, I understand. He will become more... So this isn't his fun... Oh my god. Entrails, consuming entrails. The intestines. Oh! That's the coolest fucking shot I've ever seen. Worthless. He can tell he doesn't sense any Nen. So he's just a regular human dictator king. A king among kings. Masador Deigo. So he calls him worthless because he's like, look at this, living in this lavish palace, shouting at us like this, calling himself a king. But I see no Nen. I see nothing special about you. Yep, why does that scum claim to be the king? He has nothing. Something about the human world he's not going to understand. Humans without intelligence end up in positions of power. Yep. Is that going to anger him? This ain't a meritocracy. Yep. So he looks down on humans even more. We must provide proper guidance. Wow. My godly power. You're dead. You're fucking dead. Yeah. A new puppet for you? I can use it to control other humans, because you're gonna pretend like he's still alive.
やはりアホだぞこいつら。足りないのを最大限稼働してよーく考えろ。お前ら豚や牛の命。
Have you ever spared a pig or a cow as it begged for its life? Whoa, we're no better than cattle. Farm animals. Is this gonna be his farm? The view is excellent. What are we using this for? The meat plantation. Processing humans. Jesus Christ. Oh God, I forgot. They have to meet Palm. But the title of the episode kind of tells you, hey, Palm goes on a Gon and Palm go on a date. Because Gon has won Palm over. She can't hate Gon. Where is she? In the kitchen with another kitchen knife? All the Gon voodoo dolls? No Killua ones, though. All Gon. Because she likes Gon. So is Gon gonna offer to go on a date with her, or is she gonna demand to go on a date with him? Or for him to take her out on a date? If you couldn't take me to NGL, you're gonna take me out on a date. Is that what I'm about to hear? Because the title of the episode gives it away. Holy shit, she had a lot of time on her hands. No point in swallowing 1,000 needles like Gon said he would. You can take me out on the town and take me on a date. Yep, go out with me. He has no problem. A promise is a promise. Killua is so protective because he has to protect him. Without Nen, and also Killua has always given off this parental energy when around Gon. Like Killua has practically raised him. So it's like a protective parent when like the girl or boy, like when your kid tells you, "Oh, I asked someone out," or "Oh, this boy asked me out," and the parent is like, "Oh, who is he? What are his, have you met the parents? What is blah blah blah." Like especially in like high school and stuff. She's cheery. It's okay. Gon grew up with a single mom. This is my take. Gon growing up with a single mother. He knows. He has I don't know what you would call it. He understands women. And you saw that with her in the past. That being raised by a single mother, just his mother, he's more in tune maybe with women's wants, needs, femininity, being, I don't know. I'm trying to, like, I was raised by my mom, divorced parents, and I know that I was taught chivalry, how to be a gentleman. I know growing up, my mom instilled a lot of, this is how to be a proper man. This is how, like, I don't know what I'm trying to say, but this is what I'm guessing. Gon's gonna have no issue. Are you gonna clean up? Uh-oh. Hey, today's for the bros. Tomorrow, I'll take you out. But tonight, I'm with the bro. Let's not go out right now. You clean up. I'll clean up. I'll plan a date. Jesus. See, like, she needs to be in her feminine energy. And Gon will provide that. It's our first date, like you said. Just, I want to clean up too. To give you a good date. Won her over. The biting her nails? And again, it's not even like Gon's 12, 13. 13-year-old kids don't know game or being smooth. It's just, you know, an honest, earnest, you know, boy that, you know, wants to treat a girl right. That's what I was saying. Yeah. Mito's friends. That's another one of no. I'll put. That's another one of, to me, I just read that as, you know, Togashi throughout this entire series has like thrown in like funny little suggestive sexual innuendos like, oh, teach me things. And like Killua goes, immediately sexualizes it, think, oh, Gon's a grown up. Like, I'm not going there. I'm going as it that, you know, Mito has gone out with Gon, you know, just like just growing up. And then Mito has her friends, women come to the island, and it's just, you know, teaching him things as in like listening to how women talk, how they want a man to behave or a boy to behave, how to treat them, chivalry, gentlemanliness, simple things like that. Opening the door, the sidewalk rule, pulling the chair out at a date. I won't be surprised if I see that stuff with Gon. Things like that. And, you know, Mito raising a boy as a single mother, making sure, you know, okay, I have to somehow fulfill the fatherly role and the motherly role in one person. But naturally, you're going to teach or instill certain values that you value and what the other women would have instilled in him as well. So I don't take this as, you know, it's Togashi inserting another one of those suggestive sexualized jokes, innuendos, but I take it as, oh, Gon just learned how to talk to women, how to treat women, how to be around them. And the women coming to the island, you know, they like younger men, but also like the innocence. Don't have to worry about, you know, a man hitting on them or being a perv or things like that. Whereas, oh, this super earnest boy that acts more mature for his age and has a great personality, can win anyone over, is eager and enthusiastic to show me the island, to spend time, to talk. Let's go out with this kid. That's what I take it as. And that's what I think I'm going to see with Palm and Gon. But let me go back here because, you know, I'm ranting so much. He has no dating life. Again, it's funny just to hear them talk like this when they're 13, which is the joke. I don't want that to change. I'm still interested to see, eager to see how that's going to change. Uh-oh. It's not really Kite, though. I wouldn't go that far. Okay? He's not even going to answer. So, but they captured him. He's secured. They've captured him. Is there going to be a tracker on him then? Can you just take him out of NGL and Pito's not going to know where Kite has gone? So this is where Killua is going to have to be protective. To protect him. For a second, I thought the episode was already over because this is like the music you usually hear at the end of an episode. That mean he gonna tail Gon on the date, too? Chitu in town. Not even thinking about how off he looks. Oh, you're dead. A bouquet of flowers? See, this is what I'm talking about. Is he gonna arrange a floral arrangement, like a bouquet for her? And this is what I'm talking about. Thoughtfulness. Intention. I forgot about the IRS sticking to him. And Gon can't even see it because he can't even use Gyo on himself. Aw, it's like a little a 8-legged bear. Bullets are not going to do anything to this guy. Is he either going to be Superman where where the bullets just ricochet off of him, or is he going to dodge all the bullets because he's cheated? Enhanced speed. Oh, okay. I thought it was about to be the Superman's return shot where the bullet just hits his eye and bounces off. Cut off his fingers. Handful of fingers. Oh! Interesting news reporter. Just a shot of Gon in the shower, okay? Is this a special hunter news report? News reporter? Is that why she looks so, you know, unique? Is this hunter news? Or is this just regular broadcast news where she's saying magical beast? Close by? Okay. This does not help. The government has requested that the Hunter Association capture it. Is this hunter news? Like, the society knows, I guess, the Hunter Association, but general society doesn't know what Nen or Aura is. But hearing this news reporter say, Hunter Association, magical beasts, things like that, maybe you guys can, like, exposit that, I guess, better for me. Wow, Gon looks so different with his hair down before he puts all the gel in or whatever product he uses. No, you're not. You're gonna be tailing them from the rooftops like Assassin's Creed. Is that Palm right there? Damn, she cleans up! Huh? Palm cleans up nice. Oh, you're looking good. See, positive affirmations. Open and honest. You look so pretty. Compliments. On an aquarium date. Yeah. Loser. Sharing a drink together. On a walk. Now this is stalker vibes. What is he gonna surprise her with? See, Gon's a romantic. That's what I'm talking about. That's what the women taught him. How to court a woman, how to be romantic, how to swoon. Uh-oh. Oh, is it in town, maybe? And Gon is none the wiser. And Killua's gonna have to go up against a Nen-using Chimera Ant squadron leader on his own. Is that flight or fight response gonna trigger again when he has to protect? He vowed to protect Gon. What did he surprise her with? He didn't make this, did he? Or did he? It's like a bonsai. He took off his backpack. What's in Gon's backpack? You're stuck in between a rock and a hard place. It means you're gonna have to fight him by yourself. Again, chivalry, gentle. Oh! See, this is the music that comes at the end of episodes, so I was so confused earlier when, like, the same kind of vibe of music was happening. If he can sense the Chimera Ant user, the Chimera Ant user... Oh my god, it's Rammot! Ooh! I should have known. That's such... that it's so obvious. For that revenge... the revenge, story. Rammot vowed to get his revenge on Gon and Killua, and now he sees the boy that fucked them up, but ultimately gave him his power. He's hungry for revenge. Does he already recognize the human? Yep, I remember you. He's unrefined now, whereas Shoot, you know, leaps and bounds ahead of Killua. Is electricity still going to work on you? Don't worry about him. It's me and you. I guess he would be more... he would care more about Gon because he's the one that landed that punch on him. You can't allow that to happen. You're gonna have to kill him. I have to defeat him, or it's all over. Woo! I'm looking forward to that fight. What a shot, too. Again, reminds me of Dragon Ball. Good episode. Let's discuss. So, we pick up where we left off last episode in East Gorteau. Obviously sharing a border with NGL, different nation. Meruem and crew arrive at this palace. East Gorteau implies a West Gorteau, possibly past Civil War, because, you know, you never have two countries be East, West, North, South without them originally being one country that split in two because of Civil War or military / administrative conflict. North and South Korea, North and South Vietnam before they reunified, former Yugoslavia, Bangladesh and Pakistan, South Sudan and Sudan. Also, I didn't want to say it during the reaction because in my head I was thinking, is this going to sound racist? But when I saw the dictator, can't remember his name, Masador Deigo, I think, I was thinking, this guy looks Korean as hell. Like if Togashi drew like a subtle caricature of a Korean dictator, which is funny because the character looks like Kim Jong-un to me if East Gorteau is supposed to be North Korea and he's supposed to look like a certain North Korean dictator, but the Chimera Ant arc came out in 2003. His father Kim Jong-il was supreme leader at the time when Togashi would have drawn him originally, but the anime was animated and released in 2011, right before Kim Jong-il died. And by the time they got to this episode and would have animated this episode, Kim Jong-un was supreme leader. So they could have made him look like Jong-un for the present day. Okay, wait, hold up. Let me look up if Kim Jong-il... Let me look up Kim Jong-il real quick. Didn't he always... I'm waiting for it to... Didn't he always wear glasses? I mostly remember him when he was old and decrepit before he died, but didn't he used to have just a wave of black hair and always wear these giant... Yep, oh my god. Never mind. I don't know what he looks like in the manga. I'm going to check out the manga pages later. Maybe he looks like more like Kim Jong-il back in the early 2000s because that's what Togashi would have been referencing and making fun of. But in the anime, he looks like a 50-50 perfect blend of father and son. Chubbier like Kim Jong-un, fat cheeks, chin, fat face in general. Kind of has Kim Jong-un's hair more because it's more like a swept thing. If it was like this, would have been Kim Jong-il. But the glasses are so Jong-il. Wow. And huh. I originally thought NGL was supposed to be like a North Korea. Since I'm more aware Tagashi likes twisting real world nations, cities, people, referencing them in his story, but okay, East Gorteau with a fat Korean looking dictator who calls himself supreme leader. Okay, obviously East Gorteau is North Korea then, not NGL, you know. I'm very good at geography. I could name every country in Asia, no problem, but not familiar with Asian history to the extent I could guess what East Asian country NGL is meant to be then. Was not expecting the name Masador Deigo. Masador Deigo. I don't know if it's two names because it's said like that in the show, but if it's, you know, you say it in one almost breath like Masador Deigo, a Spanish sounding name on a Korean looking dude like Masador or Masadoru makes me think of Matador, Matador, like in bullfighting, the main performer with the cape who kills the bull. Matador literally means killer in Spanish, from the verb matar, to kill, which is fitting for a dictator if your Spanish sounding name sounds like the word killer. How many war crimes and atrocities and genocides has this guy caused? You can't feel bad that he died, but is this one of those cases also where, like, the characters used to write his name mean something else, and that's why that's his? I don't know. Masador Deigo just sounds so weird. They enter the palace, and there's apparently only one guard who is a Nen user, no one else. That seems very dumb. You would think a dictator would hire multiple Nen users for protection, like the Ten Dons had the Shadow Beasts, and then they hired the Zoldycks. And this dictator only has one Nen user on the payroll. Meruem gets excited. A rare human stands before him. I didn't even need to strain my eyes to sense it. He calls it straining his eyes because he doesn't know the word gyo. And it being a fundamental technique of Nen. He just knows, oh, if I strain my eyes, I can see aura. He's like reverse engineered Gyo. It's coming to him off instinct, like a Gon or something. And it's funny. I'm sure Pito would have filled him in on everything she learned from Paco, but maybe she doesn't want to get hit in the face again by offending him with uninvited instruction. Meruem instantly decapitates all the soldiers behind the Nen user guard, but leaves the Nen user's head intact to eat. He knows now from Pito's advice, which he did take, to keep a Nen user's head because the brain is the most delectable part to eat of humans. Seems the brain is where you get all the aura nutrition. He only has a taste for consuming Nen aura, not just any old flesh. He wasn't going to touch the normal humans at all. The others might. We've seen the other Chimera Ants eat regular whatever humans. They're not picky, but he knows what they taste like. Trash. But the rare human here, delicious. Precisely what he was so earnestly, desperately seeking. His craving is satisfied for the time being, but his appetite is not. But we know specifically why now he was craving that rare human flesh. Doesn't just taste good. It's not just satiating. As he consumes more of it, he becomes more powerful. And being more born prematurely, he needs it more, I guess. Possibly to like catch up to where he's supposed to be. I don't know if there's a ceiling to his power. It's like Pito said, this is his power, like his true power. Almost sounds like she was waiting to witness what's so special about him, what all of this was for, this perfect specimen, and she's seen it. Her eyes were wide, watching. He is Cell, practically to a T now. 2 episode discussions ago, I think. I was breaking down how Meruem visually, aesthetically is a clear and purposeful homage to Cell and Frieza to Dragon Ball Z. I said it seems that's as far as Togashi took it, because while his tail is strikingly resembles Cell's tail, he doesn't stab or puncture anyone with it to consume their bodies like liquid, like drinking a milkshake. At least not yet. Again, he keeps on developing. What do I know? But seems to just be maybe a stinger or something, or again, all aesthetic. And well, we've seen him use it to decapitate. We've seen him use it to climb the nest as like an anchor point, and also as like a prehensile tail to hang on to Poof when they were flying. So it has its uses, just not as a straw, I guess is the only way to call it, if you could say that, or a stinger. But I mean, at that point, it may have almost become egregious if Meruem also consumed aura through his tail. Then it'd almost be like that Soldier Boy meme where he's like, he copied my whole fucking flow, word for word, bar for bar. So maybe, Togashi, let's not do that. So, but again, I don't know yet, because only episode 93, 148 episodes total. So just how Cell was imperfect Cell in the beginning, is this imperfect Meruem? Will his form change like Cell's does as he consumes more people and becomes more powerful, increasing his chi? Does Meruem have a final form physically? Or is it just going to be the case where his maximum output potential and actual output potential, that increases? See, I remember the terms. My favorite sequence was Meruem encountering Masador. Him and the royal guards walk into the room, see him shouting at them. Meruem calls him worthless under his breath because he can't sense any aura. Just a fat human in a uniform barking orders, acting mighty with no real power to back himself up. Masador is shouting, "Do you know who I am? A supreme leader of this era, a king among kings." First, calling himself a supreme leader has to make him a reference to North Korea for sure, even more. Secondly, what a line. A king among kings, unknowingly standing in front of another king. Meruem, literally a king among kings. Two beings calling themselves kings, just that only one of y'all has the power to kill the other. Meruem has real physical power. Masador is just a person. Big line. But what is power? Is the power the physical, or is power the ability to lead people, to inspire people, to lead? Does Meruem have that? Meruem has the physical power, but what do you consider power? Is it only physical, or is it also mental, emotional, economical? I don't know what else, but makes me think about what a king actually is. Is king the person, or the title attached, or is it an ideal? Is Meruem himself any of those things? He chastises Masador, but is Meruem a king really? Poof would be able to answer that. He's the cultured, educated, thoughtful, philosophical seeming one, and we saw that because Meruem asks his royal guards, why does that scum claim to be the king? And it's Poof who answers, like I said, the one who seems to educate and culture himself in the humanities, human culture, human history. This interests him, definitely more so than the other two. Yuppie just reminds me of like Android 16, also from the Cell Saga. He doesn't have anything to say. Pito seems like a sycophant who just wants to be needed. Poof can intellectually contend, I think, with Meruem, and is the most almost like individualistic, maybe. Poof tells him, in the human world, it's a common phenomenon. Humans without intelligence or talent end up in positions of power due to bloodline or connections. This greatly upsets Meruem. But to go back real quick, also know how Meruem claimed to be the king. Like there can only be one in this world. He's the king. And here's this creature claiming to be it instead. Not a king, not another, but the king. Back to the conversation, though. Meruem says, that defies all logic. In the hands of an incompetent, power brings nothing but ruin. This could only be the work of imbeciles. We must provide proper guidance. Meruem looks down on humans because this is such a stupid, illogical thing. Humans allow themselves to be ruled by those who didn't earn the position or fight for the position. They were given power to rule by inheritance and connection. A critique on society liking to call itself a meritocracy when it isn't one. There is clearly power misallocated in the world. The logical corrective is to seize all of it and centralize it in the being who is most fit. Excellence is concentrated in the very few, potentially just one, and those few or one should rule and consume the many. Also, that's what I was thinking too. Wouldn't this be a little hypocritical or ironic for Meruem to be arguing? I mean, he's also king by birthright, by biological order. He was born king. He was given the title and position among the hierarchy simply being born into it, created by the king, by the queen. He was manufactured by a mother queen whose sole purpose was to produce him, and he's born from lives before him. He is not really himself. He's an amalgamation of prior lives. He doesn't yet know this, so who even is he? He doesn't know. His being, himself, didn't earn the right of king. It was whatever body got plopped out, birthed from the queen. Regardless of the being or consciousness or person inside. I deserve it because I am it. He didn't earn the title or position in the hive. There's nothing about him that earned it. His body was just given it, born into the role as well. He's a king like any other king, a king among kings. Masador's crown is institutional. He has his uniform, his palace, his title, everything's backed up by bureaucracy. Meruem's crown is biological. It's ontological. Again, it creates this interesting thought of what even is king. I'm doing the quotes so much this discussion. Again, is it a role or a title? Is it the person? Is it a myth? Is it a body? Is it an ideal? Is he king? The consciousness within the body or just the body? Who's holding the title king? He didn't earn it like we said. The title of king was going to whoever, whatever that came out of the queen egg or the king egg, essentially, regardless of the being or consciousness residing in the body was worthy of it. Are the royal guards loyal to the ideal or the idea of king, or are they loyal to him, to Meruem? Are they loyal to whoever emerges from the queen no matter what? Or can the person fail them, fail their ideal? Can the royal guards' ideals of king be betrayed? There's king as office as the seat that pre-exists. If the seat existed before the sitter, then isn't king not the person but the office? And the office just goes from taken to vacant to taken to vacant, back and forth, back and forth. The office selects and accepts the person, not the other way around. There's king as person. This one's like a claim of virtue. King is whoever embodies the excellence that justifies king. And so by this measurement, again, king is something that pre-exists the person, because that person must grow into a true sovereign, must grow into fill the shoes, must grow into fill the idea. The person has to catch up to the crown. And then there's king as myth. King is a story. Titles, ceremony, oaths, uniforms, like Masador. King among kings, he said. Divine punishment, he said. Sounds like some incantation or legend told around the fire. Requires those sitting around the fire believe it and keep believing it. So it lives on, the legend, the myth. There's king as body. You know, in political theory, they say the king has two bodies. One is mortal, it ages and dies. One is the public body that never dies, undying and perfect. That's where the whole, the king is dead, long live the king. That's where that comes from. One body falls, dies, goes cold, the other body never stops. And it's rooted in religion and theology, like Christ's two natures, fully human and fully divine, or the church as an institution being a mystical body. The House of Tudor, during the Tudor dynasty, the Tudor lawyers took that kind of thinking from the church to make the monarchy what it is, to feel holy and continuous, almost corporate. The crown itself is a kind of legal person that never dies. King exists before Meruem. The queen, the royal guards, the nest, all treat the title of king as a seat waiting to be sat by whoever hatches. Their own existences even. They only exist because of and for a future king. Again, are the royal guard loyal to the crown as such, or to him specifically? He has a name, Meruem, light that illuminates all. He has a title, king. Meruem belongs to the person. King belongs to the body. And I'm very interested to see how human Meruem becomes, because I would love to see title and name argue and clash and fight each other inside his skull. His name says illuminate. His title says dominate. The human thing, the humanizing thing, the humanizing thread here would be for the person to answer his name over his title, for him to answer to Meruem over king. That leads to the last. There's king as name. The queen died giving Meruem a name. It was very important to her. He gets his name. Well, and it's like, why? None of the other Chimera Ants originally had names. They had to go to her in the beginning to ask whether it was all right if they gave themselves names. And she found it odd, but she allowed it, tolerated it. Here, in her death, in whatever language they speak, she grabs Meruem out of the air. That means illumination, again, in whatever language they have, and insists on naming her son light that illuminates all. Not light that conquers, not light that blinds, not illuminate means illumination, and insists. Illuminate sounds like enlightenment, like it's a social verb, like the word regard, or make visible. The mother built a perfect instrument and died insisting that the instrument be someone with a calling that aims outward, shines outward, like a flashlight, a torch, a lamp. You know what I'm saying. Instruments that illuminate. So the title king is a function. The name Meruem calls someone into being. A name, your name, my name, Evan, your name fixes you inside a world. That's what really identifies you and anchors and grounds you into the world. And I'm calling him Meruem right now, but he's walking around without that anchor, without that calling, that being fixed into the world. He's walking around in these episodes without a name, only his title. And I think that's symbolic and important. And I wonder how it will hit Meruem to be given his name, to find out his mother queen's not only dead, but her dying breath was to give him a name, and maybe even find out what it means, and that he's someone besides just king. And Masador shouts, "I shall use my godly power to deal divine punishment." Instantly, swiftly killed. Pathetic. I'm not merely a ruler. I am God's instrument. My power comes from the heavens. It's got that kind of typical propaganda machines that have always used that kind of spell. And Meruem dispatched him real quick. Instrument taking out this phony instrument. Pito says, "Allow me to dispose of this." Again, with thing, thinking all these other sentient beings are below them. Called the queen a thing. Calls this human a thing. She says she can use it to control other humans. Obviously, she's gonna use her puppeteer ability to bring him back to life and manipulate the people under him, continue to give orders, govern the nation, make it appear as though he's still alive. Only Nen users would be able to see the puppet master above him unless it's concealed, which is interesting because she either knows that Kite is gone or she's still controlling Kite as a puppet. If Kite's alive, is he dead and only being controlled by the puppet? Because if she's going to control Masador as a puppet, then her Nen ability is so powerful that she can control multiple puppets at the same time. That puppeteer isn't restricted to only using one puppet at a time. That's what I'm trying to say. But it's there's a great playful irony here, or I should say, unironically, an actual puppet dictator, puppet ruler, puppet government. You've heard that term before: a puppet dictator, a puppet ruler, a puppet government, like the God damn it, World War II, the Vichy government of France during World War II, which was just a puppet regime of Nazi Germany, really controlling things, or like the emperors of Japan, who are essentially the puppets of the shoguns. Pito will animate the dead dictator with Nen strings, so the population of East Gorteau keep obeying and no one thinks anything is going on. Also, remember how I was talking about two bodies, the political theory of two bodies a few minutes ago, the one that dies and the undying one. Pito's puppet is a horrific, literal example of this. Literally, the undying body, the immortal office, using a dead body, the doctrine of the two bodies, turning a dead body into a literal puppet for the literal, non-metaphorical puppet government to continue going on. Awesome. The women in the room who were dancing for Masador and just watched him get murdered are begging for their lives to be spared. Meruem stares at them and laughs at them in their faces. These humans are idiots. Think as hard as those weak brains of yours can manage. Have you ever spared a pig or a cow as it begged for its life? Such a hard line. Such a hard line. We are the livestock now. Humans corral and slaughter chickens, cows, pigs, others by the millions upon millions, brutally at that. We're speciesist. Yes, that's a word, speciesist. We believe we're superior. We're okay at the top of the food chain. But when a new species comes along, threatening our place on the food chain, on the hierarchy, forcing us to fall one rung down the ladder as this new species takes the number one spot and wishes to corral and slaughter us, all of a sudden, no, please, no, don't. Spare us. You can't. Begging for our lives, expecting to be listened to when, if animals could talk to beg for their lives, would we listen or care? Animals and other human civilizations too. It's a human hypocrisy. Humans tolerate mass suffering when humans benefit from it. We build entire economies on ignoring the pleas of others we would hear if we listened, but we demand exception when we become the herd of cattle. It's also like a paradox, because only humans can enter social contracts. By social contract, I mean like the rights. Human rights come from social contracts. So either you see Meruem and the Chimera Ants as human who can enter social contracts and accept social contracts, or you see them as animals who can't keep social contracts, and you're just crying to an animal the same way animals cry to us. It's a great line from Meruem because it bites, and it bites because it's not completely wrong, and that's how dehumanization often wins, because people who dehumanize, they find a truth and stretch it. Also, we just had Masador with his divine punishment and how fast that failed. Meruem laughing like a god, about to deal his own divine punishment, but a darker kind, a god deciding who lives and who dies. Meruem sees these women begging and says, your cries and pleas are animal noises. But let's move on to Gon's date with Palm now. Let's move on to something more fun and lighthearted. The episode, but pay attention to this, the episode goes from war to normal life. What normal life means and what normal life is inside of a war. It makes me think about all the documentaries and war movies, shows, books that I really appreciate that show the war and then the everyday normal human, the normal life that persists, that humans still had within the confines of that war. Like here, a war going on somewhere that only a dozen people or so know about. And outside elsewhere, society keeps living on daily. And a kid and a girl who know about the war, who are living in it, do a normal life, normal boy and girl thing and go on a date. Palm is sitting in a room full of torn up, what I called Gon voodoo dolls. The boys walk in around the middle of stabbing one with her at this point iconic kitchen knife. There's not a single Killua doll amongst the dolls with green shirts and spiky hair. All Gon dolls, because Gon is the one she has a crush on, the one who promised her. Gon is the boy who essentially broke her heart. You must take responsibility, she says. Remember when we first met her? Whatever episodes ago that was, and they're at the restaurant, and I originally talked about the things that are important to her, pointing out all the keywords during that conversation at the table she was spitting out, that she was throwing out, that I was noticing that she was saying. A man taking responsibility, being responsible, is very important, and that is Gon. Gon takes responsibility. You must do anything I say. All Gon says is okay. She says he must go out with her. He takes responsibility. He did say he would do anything she says. Even she had to be like, wait, what? No arguing or fighting or trying to go back on your word? I mean, Killua was trying to do that on Gon's behalf, but Gon himself was stoic and firm. She probably didn't even have to give that ultimatum, like, do anything I say. She thought that was probably the only way he'd go out with her, and the only way she could get what she wants, knowing this is Gon's personality, that he would say okay. But the only way she could get a date was to be, you have to do anything I say, and she said you have to go out with me. But almost seems like she could have just asked. Killua tries defending Gon about to lecture her about how Gon must be feeling right now and after losing a Knuckle and his inability to use Nen for another month, but Gon cuts him off. It's okay. The whole scene of Killua bickering with Palm literally plays out like those scenes in movies and TV shows where it's like the girl likes a boy, but the parents don't like this thing, and they're fighting, and the dad's yelling like, "You're not going out with that boy," and like that's literally Killua in this scene shouting like a protective parent, and Palm is like the teenage girl yelling about the boy she likes, and dad won't let her go out with him. I don't know. It was just funny. That's what I was thinking about. Gon is the one to tell Palm, let's not go out today. Let's go out tomorrow. Gon wants a proper date. Palm was overly eager and restless. She wants to go out right now. But Gon is like, I'll do you one better. Let's have a proper date. Like you said, it's our first date, so it has to be proper. I want to plan the date. I want to prepare. We'll get cleaned up. Let's not rush. Let's not rush the date. Good man right there. And how shocking, it's Gon being the patient one. Gon? Patient? What the hell's going on here? Gon is just an honest, earnest, charismatic boy. That's how you land a date. Having game is so fucking corny and cringy. This is how Gon got the girl to like him in the first place. And he wasn't even trying. He was just being honest, positive, charismatic, charming, eager, earnest, affectionate. I could keep throwing out these adjectives. This is how Gon secured the date. He didn't even plan on going on. Setting the time and setting the date and time, making it a surprise, putting in effort, wanting to plan and prepare for it, make it proper. That's how you court a woman right there. That's how you court a woman. If anything, that's game. Gon's got game by not having game. Not having game is the game and just being a good man. But Gon still reserves time for his best friend, his bro. Gotta hit the gym with my bro, but tomorrow we'll go out. And I love that quick shot when you see Gon and Killua in the gym. There's an employee at the gym with a clipboard staring at Gon and Killua with a shocked look on her face because these two 13-year-old kids are each just casually holding like 350-pound loaded barbells like paperweights while just chatting about dating, chatting about girls. Killua starts asking Gon all these questions about dating because it seems like none of this is new to him. Gon grew up the social butterfly. Makes sense. Killua was isolated on Kukuru Mountain, training. He's never talked to girls like that or gone on a date. He even says that himself. He admits it freely to Gon. I spent all my time training as an assassin. Ever since I quit, I've been with you. And then that inner monologue line from Killua, and I really don't want things to change. No, and I really don't want that to change. I'm about ready to give in. And this was my own decision. He's ready to give in to his own decision he made himself. He doesn't even want to keep his own vow now. Not the protecting Gon part, but the leaving after 30 days part. He wants to stay with Gon. And he's like, I want to give in. I want to give in to my own promise I made. But let's keep it lighthearted here. That's some serious deep shit. Let's I said it during my reaction, but it's just funny listening to these two kids talk about dating when they're like, what would that be? 6th or 7th grade. They're 13. And it makes me think about when I was 13. When anybody's just 13, when you start liking girls and you start having crushes and cooties and all this grade school, drama between boys and girls and like 12, 13, 14. It's like a date with a girl was like being able to get froyo after school with the girl I liked, or riding my bike and a girl standing on the pegs on the back wheel, going to get like a sundae and fries from McDonald's before biking her home. Or like when you're with your group of guy friends and there's the group of girlfriends and each girl would get on the pegs of each of the boys' bikes and you all just go somewhere and hang out. I don't know. When you're 13, you're like, damn, this is cool. And like you'd and like you'd bike her home or something or walk a girl home or whatever, or like, having a girlfriend in like 7th or 8th grade, and you think you were so cool at the lunch table with all your guy friends because, they were asking you, what, and you called it a date, or you're listening to one of your other friends talking about going to see a movie with a girl, like, whoa. Again, it's just so funny listening to two kids talk like this, as an adult thinking about 15 years ago at this point, what a 13, 14-year-old, me and the boys at that age thought and talked about. Killua asks Gon if he's been on many dates, and Gon says, oh yeah, a lot. Mostly with Mito and women on the island who would come to visit the island on the boats. Like, again, it's just so funny. Gon's just a kid thinking those were dates. They called them dates, so they had to be dates. Your Aunt Mito wanting to spend time with essentially her son, calling it a date, spending the day in town, getting food, just the two of them. A date. Older women on the island being charmed and guided around by him. a date. Hanging around women, listening to them talk amongst each other or talking with him, learning how to socialize, how to be a gentleman, how to be chivalrous, how to cater to someone's wants or needs, entertain them, make them laugh, enjoy your company. That's how I took it when Gon said he had the women teach him things. Takashi loves his little double entendres, sexual innuendos. You can think about multiple different ways, and he's testing your dirty mind. Like, get your head out of the gutter. Killua thinks Gon means like physical intimacy, the birds and the bees sort of talk too. When I don't take it that way at all. I take it the way I described in my reaction and what I'm thinking right now of like, I would go on dates with my mom or uh, family members, 5, 7, 9, 10 years old. Like we would go to the park and have a picnic date, had peanut butter and jelly sandwiches, and just hung out on a blanket together on my mom's day off, either during the week or my mom worked a 9 to 5 out, away from home, having quality time with each other. You want to take advantage of that. Or we would have, you know, a huge childhood memory of mine, like 4, 5, 6 years old, of Milano cookie dates. We both love Milano cookies. I would sit up on the floor, like blankets and towel, right in the middle. We would sit on the floor and just chit chat. I was probably yapping about the newest random fun facts I learned or the most random stuff. She would talk about work, or we'd talk about, again, just random stuff. I'm talking about kindergarten, first grade random stuff big, with a brand new bag of Milano cookies. You take the little tray out, you got your spread of Milano cookies, and we each got a big glass of milk right in front of each other, and we're just dipping cookies, eating, chatting, and that was a date because I would always be like, "Can we have a Milano cookie night tomorrow night?" And she'd say, "Sure, it's a date." Something like that. I would go on dates with my mom's friends, which was literally just me tagging along with my mom to go see some of her coworkers or friends for coffee or lunch or something because, my dad was either also busy, he traveled a lot, or just didn't want a babysitter, or, she liked taking me around everywhere. My mom's best friends all had daughters. My mom was the one person who actually had a son, had a boy, and the girls were always a few years older than me, so they'd always tag along. My mom and them would always joke, "Oh, it's a date, it's a double date," or everyone joked, "Ooh, they should get married," or something like that. So my mom and her best friend can be family, or uh, get one of the girls to give me the 4-year-old a kiss on the cheek or something. I don't know. Or I'd go get ice cream with my babysitter after school. A date. That's literally what Gon is describing with his Aunt Mito and the women on the island to me. And while out, I would always be taught to hold doors for people, to give up my seat on the bus or the train. Um, when you're standing waiting for an elevator, let the women enter first. Women order their drinks and their entrees first at the table. Men walk on the outside of the sidewalk, and you listen, care, remember, pay attention, put an effort. I think every boy, asks something like, "Oh, what do girls like?" or something like that. Or like the moms or older women would always joke like, "Do you like any girls at school? Have you asked any girls out on a date yet? Do you know what girls really love? How to get a girl to like you." And being a boy, just starting to like girls, it's just like, "Tell me, tell me, tell me, tell me, teach me, recite the deep magic to me." Um, and it would always be like, "Oh, just be kind, caring, make her feel safe. Ooh, find out her favorite flower, her favorite candy. You know, put in some effort. Don't be embarrassed to say you like her. To call her pretty. Be a gentleman. Girls love a romantic princess treatment. I don't know what I'm saying. You know, it's just my mom and grandma were the ones who raised me most. My mom, and then pretty much my second mom, my grandma. I don't really know what, honestly, I don't really know what my dad taught me character wise, but I know I'm the way I am because of my mom and having a lot of women in my life, in my family. Around women a lot growing up. Literally all had daughters, so loved when me, the boy, was just around. This just doesn't stand out weird at all to me. This makes so much natural sense to me. So when Gon says the women taught him things, that's what I'm thinking about. Gon was raised by a single mother and grandmother, two women in the house raising a little boy. Mito has girlfriends. You know, the other elders of the island, probably friends with the grandma too. Women visit the island. The mom runs the bar, is the bartender. Easy way for Gon to socialize with strangers, women. It's obvious looking back. Kite was Gon's first real male figure or man to man interaction before. Jing, absent deadbeat dad, you think probably over the years Mito would have made sure to impart some female wisdom instilled in Gon what it means to be a good man. It makes complete sense to me. Gon growing up around women, raised by women, spending most of his time around women, that he would understand women. He would understand femininity, know how to talk to women, how to treat women, how to put in effort, how to be romantic, how to be charismatic. Tie that to his natural energy, his natural charm, his natural charisma, his positivity, that attitude that can win anyone over, his straightforwardness, his enthusiasm. It's no surprise he equally wins over men and women alike, equally, and is a catch. Everybody loves him. That's how I interpret it all. And it's precisely why Gon knew how to calm Palm down and get her to relax, take care of her anxiety, knew how to win her over in the first place. He listened to her, talked to her, learned about her, learned what she likes and doesn't like, promised her, encouraged her, complimented her, included her, told her everything's going to be okay, displayed his confidence and resolve, complimented her cooking, made a pinky promise to her, told her she can speak her mind as much as she wants, whenever she wants. And god damn, Palm cleans up amazingly. Unrecognizable. Gon shouts in the middle of the hall in front of everyone how pretty Palm looks, which embarrasses her. But she likes it. Gon's like, oh, I'm just telling the truth. I couldn't help it. There you go, man. Like, sorry, I'm just being honest. He's not embarrassed or shy to tell her she's pretty. Genuine compliment right to her. Again, he's very straightforward. Takes her on an aquarium date out on the town, sharing drinks. Takes her on a romantic walk through the forest. Him being one with nature, showing her plants and animals, leading and guiding her, holding her hand across the river. This is exactly what I imagine those dates on Whale Island were, just like this. These are his stomping grounds. This is him passionately wanting to show Palm, or even back on the island, the women, what he's in love with, what he loves. With Mito, maybe showing her the forest he spent so much time in, giving her a peek into his world, being a tour guide of sorts to women tourists visiting the island, probably walking into Mito's bar, gets hooked up with Gon, who shows them around the whole island as a date. Who knows? Gon surprises Palm with a gorgeous, tranquil view. Even thought to pack her a chair to sit on, to be comfortable while he would sit on the ground. Like I was saying, this sort of gentlemanly, chivalrous behavior. Chivalry is not dead. The little things to court a woman and make a girl feel wanted and desired and special. She opts to sit on the grass right beside him. Gon's good. Gon's good. Knuckle calls Gon to tell him they found and secured Kite. Secured. Knuckle and Shoot together certainly have the physical abilities and then abilities to take down strong opponents. Kite might have been scary as hell during that shot where he rushes up to them, but I don't think he would be very difficult. Imagining Knuckles' ability in tandem with Shoot's ability, Jesus Christ. Your debt piling up while you have 3 floating fists attacking you, and you might not have all of your body parts to fight with in the first place because Shoot touched you and it's fucking gone. Kite tells Gon he believes Kite is being controlled by the enemy, but that means he's alive. So we think. And that's all that's all Gon's brain picks up from this conversation. He's alive, He's about to be broken when he sees Kite. if Knuckle shoot Morel Nov, get him out of NGL and back to Gon, either subdued, or if the tether connection to Pito is broken or whatever, Kite will just be a Frankenstein's monster stitched together looking like a corpse. Kite will be dead. And, what if Gon just sees his body splayed out on the floor or in a body bag or on a table or something, versus if Kite is actually alive. And if he's alive, that's not Kite. Killua leaves his post, tailing the two of them to pursue this mystery Chimera Ant aura nearby. Gon can't use Nen, which also means he can't be detected by Nen either. I didn't think about that. When Gon, he's completely powerless, but also he doesn't stand out to anybody either. Killua has to leave him behind to protect him from a distance by checking out this Chimera Ant and potentially killing it. I love how he described it as like the aura scent traveled with the wind, kind of like a hunter or an assassin, or like Gon would detect, how a dog can pick up the slightest scent from like 5 miles away or something, or a shark can sense like a drop of blood in the water from who knows how many miles away. The Killua, he vowed to protect Gon, whatever it takes, no matter what. And we see the Chimera Ant he has to face. He went to check the Chimera Ant out and is willing to potentially kill it. And we see the Chimera Ant he has to face. The one who likewise himself vowed revenge on Killua and Gon. So Killua has a vow. Rammot has a vow. He vowed to take revenge on the two boys who fucked him up, who is now an enhancer Nen user. So what the hell now? So Killua's going to go, what's he going to do? He has to go up against a Nen user officer Chimera Ant. What's he going to do? Run away again? No. If he dies or gets defeated, Gon would die. Killua has to evolve, right? Now, go beyond his limits. Break through that glass ceiling. If he can defeat Rammot, then that'll also probably prove to himself he doesn't need to leave Gon because he didn't run away and he protected him. Kind of proving to himself, I'm okay. I don't need to leave. Maybe this is the battle event that keeps them together. I don't know if that means Rammot would die. I almost don't want Rammot to die. I don't like him and I like him at the same time. He's like an interesting enough character that I'd like him around, especially if, the hierarchy and the whole dynamics of the Chimera Ant nest and everything just gets fucked up. I would love to see almost like an ally ship between some of the Chimera Ants and the humans, but who knows? Like I said, maybe this is the battle event where it makes sense that Killua is going to stay with Gon now. But, will Killua go so hard against Rammot that he kills him? I don't know. I'll have to see next episode. So, keep the conversation going down in the comments below. Join us on Patreon if you're interested in unedited reactions and exclusives. Having said all that, and with that said, so long, farewell, until next time, thank you, have a good one, peace.